All right, so I had a realization today that is kind of fun. When I was in high school, my auto shop teacher was a badass. He was so much fun. He was like the only cool teacher I've ever had in my life. Just like treated us like adults, like young adults, not like stupid fucking children that have no business opening their mouths about anything. And so like I'd go in there, and I had auto shop like or I think I had it for 5 periods or 4 periods my senior year because I needed grades. Like I had to get A's to balance out the D's and shit like that. Anyways, I'd go in there like after lunch every day and I'd kind of just go and sit by his desk. There was like a stool up there. I'd just kind of sit by his desk, hang out and bullshit. And I'd come in every day. What's up, man? My butt hurts. And I always just kind of thought he was joking around. Like, that's a funny thing to say. And now I think it's possible that his butt actually did hurt.
Got the butt hurt shop teacher.
Yeah, hemorrhoids are a bitch, right? What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio, transmitting from the future free state of Greater Idaho, where I'm sitting on a bag of apples. I am the one-armed madman. And back with me from Music City, America, I almost got him to spit up his coffee. It's the great Daniel Steele. What's up, Dan?
What's up, everybody? So much shit's going on, it's hard to keep up.
It is. Like, dude, I'm on a lot of drugs right now, so I don't remember what's going where at this point. You could tell me aliens landed last night, and I'd say maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, who knows what's going on? I'm just fucking, dude, it's the goddamn hemorrhoid thing has just been a nightmare. Doctors driving me up the fucking walls, man. Like, I went to the doctor for the hemorrhoid on Thursday. I still haven't gotten a call back from a fucking doctor's office. So I called my doctor and I was like, hey, what the fuck? Like, it's been almost a week. And I called them on, I had the appointment on Thursday. So then I called them on Monday or Tuesday. I called them on Tuesday, complaining that I hadn't gotten a call from a specialist or anything like that yet. And they go, well, it's only been 2 days. I'm like, well, no, it's been 5 days. It's been 2 business days, I guess. But like, what world are we living in where 2 days is a long time? Like, is not a long time. Like, 2 days is a long fucking time for you guys to get to figure this out. And, we live in a world now where it's like, oh, come on, we've only had 2 days. You got to give us some time here. You're not dying. Crazy.
I don't know. I think I'd be sitting in their lobby with my pants off showing it to people.
Well, dude, I called today and they were like, I talked to the same guys yesterday and he's like, why are you calling again? I was like, because I haven't seen a doctor yet. Well, calling here isn't going to do anything. I go, you remembered me. It's doing something. And I'm going to be calling you every day until I get an appointment with a specialist. Like, this is fucking crazy, and you will be hearing from me every day. Which I think is fair.
Yeah. I'd be calling on the hour.
Dude, it's one of those deals where, like, I can't even really describe the pain. It's like you're shitting a pine cone and it's stuck halfway in and out, essentially. Ooh. Yeah.
Like one of them fat fuckers?
It doesn't. Yeah, sure. Why not? Like, even if it's a skinny one, like, I don't know what it is. Yeah. That fucker is stuck in there halfway, and it's like I had to trim my fingernails real good because I was trying to get up, trying to get that fucker back up in there. And I'm scratching the shit out of myself because I can't
go to
trim
an
my
Asian massage parlor.
I can't trim my fucking fingernails because my friggin' arm is tied up on me. So it's like just a fucking nightmare, man. And when it rains, it pours. It really does. Yeah. This happened to me like the last time I had a surgery. This happened. It's so weird. Like, when I had the spinal cord stimulator surgery, and I've had this hemorrhoid problem for a long time. Like, I got it when I was doing drugs and just like shitting rocks for 5 years or however fucking long it was, gave me a hemorrhoid. And like, I don't know. It's fucking brutal. It's fucking brutal. But so I had the spinal cord surgery, the spinal cord stimulator surgery. And like, I don't know what it is, but it's like as soon as I have a fucking injury or something, I can't get the fucker back up in me. It's like I don't have the strength in my diaphragm or something like that. And like I've got a couple of good corners in my house that I used to sit on. Like that's one of my major problems with like, can you imagine having to go to work every day and be like, I need a pack of wet wipes and a nice rounded corner. Otherwise, I can't come in. If I end up having to take a shit, I need a pack of wet wipes and a nice rounded corner. Otherwise, I'm fucked.
Yeah, you should just figure out where Adam's shift works because I'm sure they have tons of things to stick up your ass.
What I really need is like one of those butt plugs with the suction cup on it, so I could just suction it into the shower and just kind of go at it from, kind of go power bottom style and wash down the mess.
But when I lived in Vegas, there's a group of guys that would go shooting, and it was my buddy's birthday, so one guy brought him out a gift. He brings out this box like this big. Like, what the fuck is this? And it was a double-ended dildo hoodlum edition, and we ended up turning it into like a target. I wonder if I could collect that for you and mount it at your place.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
We had a project.
It's got two ends, so if you forget to clean it once, you got the other side to work off of.
We built a bong when I was younger. I don't know why, I don't know. We were stupid fucking building bongs out of PVC pipe. So we had a bunch of this PVC pipe laying around in our garage, and we were like, oh, let's build a big old fucking bong. So we built this bong. It was like 4-inch PVC, and it was like
Nice.
4 foot. And dude, the fucking thing, we called it the drooler because as soon as you started, you could just see drool pouring down out of your mouth. It was just so gnarly. And like, I bet we were putting some of the gnarliest chemicals straight into our lungs, like just putting hot smoke through one of those. Oh God. The things that like we would do back then where you just look at it now and go, oh my God, like, were you trying to poison yourself?
Last week, my wife knocked her dab rig off the table, and it landed right on the nail or whatever they call it. So she's like, fuck, what do? We go to the smoke shop, and we're like, hey, do you have this? And those pieces, at the smoke shop, they just sit with like the stuff that you smoke crack with.
Yeah.
So he's like, this. She's like, no, I don't smoke crack, this. And then she finally gets one. It works, but it smells, and to her, it tasted like crayons.
Oh, so
how do you make quartz smell like, taste like crayons? I don't know. We ended up going to another smoke shop and getting a different one, but God, I can imagine what she inhaled there.
Dude, did you ever look it up on ChatGPT or Grok or something like that? Like that, I bet you there was.
No, that's a good idea.
Like, it's pretty good with science questions like that. Like, I bet you that there's something in the manufacturing process that leaves some sort of film or something like that over the product, and then as soon as you touch heat to it, it's just gonna vaporize it and fucking. Like, I was kind of thinking it probably had like a paint type smell to it. But crayons, that's a weird one. Crayons is one of those weird smells, like that people get weird smells when they're having a stroke or something like that. I think crayons is one of those. I'm trying to filibuster the best I can here. I thought that was a pretty decent crayon filibust there.
Contamination from residue during manufacturing.
Yeah, makes sense. Like I typically, anytime I buy something that I'm gonna like cook with or smoke with or something like that, I typically boil it before I use it. So like last time I got a new bong, it had a film in it. You could just kind of feel it. And I like just ran it through the dishwasher first. I think I done something like that recently too. I got a really cool like bowl at the smoke shop the other day. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I already started the story, so no going back now.
It's for Delta 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's for Delta 8 or Salvia. It's for
THCA.
Salvia, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, it's a metal bowl that's like is big around, like the diameter is somewhere between a quarter and a silver dollar. So pretty decent size. Yeah. And it's made out of metal, and it's got a metal screen embedded into the bottom of it. And nice. Dude, it's the best piece of equipment I have ever fucking bought. It it pulls super clean and like super consistent, like the pull through it. And
Yeah.
dude, like it gets so much air in with the flame that it just fires through your fucking plant so goddamn fast. So you can end up like taking down, I don't know, a gram and a half in like half the
Jesus.
time that it would take you to smoke just a normal bowl. So like, dude, I've been getting fucked up.
We uh we went to this thing, I think it's called the Southern Cup. It's basically the cannabis cup for Tennessee
Uh,
or for the South. And we vended. We didn't even make our money back for the vending fee, but like we met people, and this shop that's not in Tennessee, for the record, hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we want your product." Like hadn't reached out because we aren't done with the most recent product, so we drove a ways there and we brought them like a care package. We brought them product to buy, and it was in a state that is like the Delta 8 farm bill shit. And this dude just starts loading up a bag for my wife, and then he pulls out this jar, and he's like, "Oh, actually, we sell the real weed here too." And he just loads her up a
yeah.
bag of that. And we
Hell
didn't bring
yeah.
it back to Tennessee. We threw it in the trash to stay compliant. But
I used to, when I was younger, I could smoke some fucking weed. They called me the Iron Lung back in the day, and I did this run one time while we're talking about stupid illegal things. I so I bought this weed from Northern California, and it was fire, like just fire. And we're talking this is the early 2000s, like 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in there. So weed was going for like top shelf shit was going for like 4,200 down south, somewhere in that area. And I was able to get
a
this.
pound.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Southern California. And so I was able to get this stuff for like 2,600 a pound, and it was
Indoor.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just fire too. It was purple, but like not all of it turned purple. So it was just like a ball. Like I got them in 2 pound bags, so it was just like this ball of weed that looked like a kind of like a golf ball, like a different colored golf. Anyways, so the deal started in Northern California. I drove down south, fronted it to my guy. He starts selling and goes, "I need more of this shit. We got to get it before it sells out. I don't have the money yet, but I'm gonna have the money. So like, call your guy and figure something out so we can get this done." So I call the guy up. And he's like, "All right, we're in Temecula at the time, which is in the Inland Empire, probably 80 miles north of San Diego." So he goes, "Drive down to South Central and pick up the set of rims for me, and I'll give you a discount." Okay. So I take my buddy's wife's Jetta, and I drive down to South Central with a fucking gun on me the entire goddamn time because I got a bunch of money on me. I go and I pick up these rims. I drive back to Temecula, pick up the money, drive to San Francisco, pick up the weed, drive back to Southern California. This is all on one trip. I didn't fucking stop the whole time. And
Wow.
when we got back, my buddy challenged me to a weed smoking contest. He's like, "It's fucking good." And he's like, "I can smoke more weed than you. I heard you're the Ireland." And dude, we were fucking, I think we got to like 4 gram bowls and we just gave up. We're like,
Jesus.
"This is just a
Yeah.
waste. Like, let's just stop at this point." And it was like, we had this massive bowl and it was like this hookah setup. And yeah,
So this was before like rec.
yeah, yeah, it was. It was like, bye. My mother was just here listening to this entire conversation. That's how cool my mom is. Just doesn't give a fuck. Anyways, yeah, no, and it was a weird time. Like, I was never for legalization at that time. Like, I didn't know anything about the government or the war on drugs or any of that shit. But like, my thought is like, I'm from Northern California, very, very small towns with almost no economic, opportunities for anybody. Without marijuana, these towns don't exist. Like that is the
Yeah.
only way that they're generating any type of money.
Oh,
And
dog, I've been to Hayfork.
yeah, so you fucking know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my thought is if as soon as this shit goes legal, my town, my neighborhoods, the people I know are all gonna die. It's all gonna go away. And I don't know who's gonna replace them, but somebody else is gonna move in there and it's gonna turn into yuppie fucking central, and it's going to kill Northern California. It's going to kill the industry. I didn't know as much about economics at the time, but I thought it was going to fuck with prices too much, which it did. You know, I don't know that I
Yeah,
was
I was
right about
thinking like
how, but
I'm not. I was privy to a deal where it was a pound of wax where it had like these pure like crystals in it, like just some
yeah,
of the best wax that the person who was buying it had ever seen. It was $900 for a pound,
yeah, yeah. Shit
and
was cheap
wax
back
is
in the
like
day. Now I don't know how much it is now, but it's way more than that. I don't know prices anymore.
no. This was in the last year,
Oh, okay, okay. That's a
so
fucking great
it's
price.
been deflationary.
Yeah. So like my buddy knew how to make wax in the early 2000s before it became what it is today. Like at that point you were just either bubble hash or butane was all that
Yeah,
basically anybody knew how to make. There was a couple people in Amsterdam that knew how to make it, but for the most part like bubble hash was about as advanced as most people were getting. And like my buddy knew how to make the good shit and he wouldn't let us see how he did it. Like we could hang out while he's preparing to do it, but as soon as it was time to do his thing, he went into the garage, and if you walked out into the garage, you're catching a bullet. That's just how it's going to be. Like you just aren't going out into the garage because he does he's not going to give you his recipe. But now that people like know how to make it, I could see how it's been deflationary. That's a good point.
yeah. I know these one dudes up that way. They fucking had a house. They were doing ethanol extraction. They blew it up, and they were at like bordering a national forest, so they got charged with arson.
No.
And then they fucking like they were on bail or whatever. The justice system's speed. You don't get a speedy trial up there,
No.
so they're like a couple years since. And then they got raided again, and they had another fucking ethanol extraction lab in their house. Like, how fucking stupid!
Yeah. Yeah. I had some friends that did some stupid things too. You know, I had a buddy one
It,
time. He used to he was a big time dealer. Like he had a race car team. That was kind of his money laundering scheme, was race cars. And he ended up sending an entire pallet, like 300 pounds or 400 pounds, something like that. Sent it to the wrong bakery. Like just sent it to the bakery on the wrong block or something like that. And it's just like fuck, man. They had his fingerprints from like they pulled fingerprints and found his fingerprints and lost his race car team, lost his house, lost fucking everything, you know. And all those people
it's
that he was
pretty
dealing with
crazy. The
are still, you know, and they're still fine. You know, all the people who were connected are all good today. You know?
the thing is the way that they made the laws. Like, if you're moving, not weight. So California, if you have 99, I haven't. I don't know if they updated the law, but when the law came out for rack, if you had 99 pounds or less and you weren't licensed, it was a misdemeanor, like a speeding
Mm.
ticket. And so what it did is it opened up to open black market. Like it was this time last year. I went to LA, and my buddy's like, and I wanted to buy some edibles. My buddy's like, stop at this store. There's not a sign. You'll walk in and it'll feel shady as fuck. They'll open the door and it'll feel like a dispensary. So I went in. I got 6,800 milligrams of THC in edibles, like a total of 6,800
Uh-huh.
milligrams for $120.
Oh my, that's so great. Dude, prices are so fucked up here, like where I'm at. And it sucks because like we're in no man's land essentially. Like we're far
Oh, it's
away
illegal
from
there, right?
not in I mean it's illegal in Idaho, but it's legal in Oregon, which is where people buy it. But like prices are crazy. It's like $400 for a decent ounce.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they
Um,
really fucking screw you over here. They rape us like fucking crazy.
in Oregon, they opened up. So California was limited on licensing for growing for quite a while, and Oregon's just like anybody can get it.
Yeah.
So it drove the price down quite a bit in California. But I guess if you have like this captive market on the edge of fucking Idaho, they're gonna just
Mhm.
rail you.
Yeah, like we have no other options. There's no competition. There's a few shops, but as long as those shops or owners are willing to get together and say, "Hey, here's our prices," which I have no doubt in my mind that they do. I'm sure they get together once or twice a year and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to charge for this." And if we all play ball, we all make money. You know, if one of you steps out of line, it fucks us all over. while we're on drugs, I do have an interesting video we could play. Let's learn about some fentanyl.
10% tariff on China because
it's just 43 pounds that were found last year. That's less than a carry-on suitcase. Is that a lot of fentanyl compared to, say, Mexico, where the vast majority of the fentanyl is brought in through Mexico, not Canada? So what else does Canada need to do?
Well, I just told you, last year alone, there was a 2,000% increase in illegal fentanyl. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe. And frankly, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the families in this country who have lost loved ones at the hands of this deadly poison. If you talk to them, and this president has, they are grateful that they finally have a president who is standing up to both Canada and Mexico, and most importantly, to China as well. The president added an additional 10% tariff on China because this deadly poison is being produced in that country. It's being distributed through our neighbors, and there needs to be consequences for that, period.
I mean, what a just disgusting way to make an argument. It's only 43 pounds. It's just a suitcase. It's no big deal. That's enough to kill like 10 million people. When you're arguing about like a deadly poison, like she's talking about, it doesn't matter if it's a drop or a gram or a pound or 43 pounds. It's enough to kill tons of fucking people. Yeah, it's serious.
I had do you know what Dance Safe is?
No.
They're probably one of the first like testing advocates. They're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Like at festivals, they'll have like a booth popped up and they have information cards and all the different drugs. And I somehow my wife got the executive director of that organization on the phone yesterday. I got to talk to him. Super cool guy. But he was saying, all right, so if you have a gram of cocaine, right? If you're down to 1/500th of that gram, we'd all agree that that bag is empty. That thing is gone, long gone. 1/500th of 1 gram is what kills somebody. Like, just think about that as scale. Like, all you need is 1/500th of 1 gram to kill somebody, and they're talking about 43 fucking pounds.
Yeah,
it's madness.
It's insane, and just like, I can't even come up with like a good analogy because it's just so egregiously disgusting that would be your argument. It's just a little bit of poison. Who cares? They have way more poison coming over their border. God, who thinks like this? Like, these people are sick.
One thing that was really interesting talking to him, because I was of the belief that the reason so many people were dying from fentanyl was because, like, let's say you and I were competitive drug dealers and you would like pay my chick to put fentanyl in my supply to dirty it. But what most oftentimes happens is, they're obviously facing a lot of pressure from enforcement. So they set up these houses, they process everything and they distribute it, and then they leave the house. Well, they process their heroin, which is fentanyl now, and cocaine in the same house.
Yeah.
And they don't have like health standards. So it's all just cross contamination. They're not purposefully putting the fentanyl in cocaine. They're just using the same equipment.
Yeah. And like, I could see why somebody would put like a little bit in there. Like, as somebody who's been around some drug dealers, anything addictive is helpful to you. Like, even just a little bit of it. Like, and I don't know anybody who has ever. I don't know anybody personally who would have ever done that. But I can imagine there's some people going, "Hey, I've got a big bag of this stuff. You got a couple kilos of this shit. You add a little bit of fentanyl into it, and you're going to get people hooked. They're not going to know they're taking it." I could see that. Like, I don't think I think it's more what you're saying with cross-contamination. Yeah. Here's another video that I've been noticing these going around on X for a couple weeks now, and I just have to comment on this.
Guy is literally sitting in the car. Okay, babies, it's late. I'm out getting a tank of gas, and I watched a man put this on the gas handle, and I just had to run over to tell the little girl not to touch it. But I watched him do this.
There's a
Do
paper
you see the
towel
tissue?
on the pump.
You see it? So, if you ever find yourself at a gas station and a tissue is on the handle, or you come back to your car and you see a tissue under the handle of your vehicle, do not touch it at all, because this is what traffickers are doing. They're putting a toxin on the tissue, and then they're putting it in a place where you have to touch, and then they're waiting for you to pass out. Okay, and so this little girl pulled up getting ready to fill up her tank, and the guy is literally sitting in the car right there.
Maybe put him on film. Put him on blast. Let's see him.
He just walked away because he heard me talking about it, but pay
scared him
attention,
off.
okay? Stay alert.
Lady. This is bullshit. I've seen more of them, like where somebody finds $1 or $100 laying on the ground in a Walmart parking lot, and they go, "Oh, look!" and they use their feet to open. "Oh, there's some powder in there. They're gonna try to kidnap me. Oh my god!" Fentanyl does not work that way. In order for it to be absorbed through your skin, it has to have constant contact for a long period of time. Like, it just doesn't. No drugs work like that. There's not a single drug, maybe LSD, possibly, that you could get a little bit of bleed through something like that. But no, this is bullshit. And there was a tell in there when she was talking about it. She goes, "This is something that sex trafficking traffickers do." She tried to say victim, and then she had to catch herself because she is the victim here, and she's just scamming. Like, there's some guy in the parking lot, like, come on. And
Your audio quality went down after playing that video.
did it? Uh-oh.
Yep.
That's not good. Let me, I don't know what to do about it. Hold on. Here we go. How about now? Is that any better?
Yep, you're good.
Cool.
Yep.
Had to use the mute button. I don't know what happened there. But anyways, these are fake videos. I don't know if this woman's just clout chasing, looking for likes, or if
I've been looking for those regs and trying to just grab them.
Yeah, I'll snort one up. Like, I don't know. It's bullshit. It's fucking stupid, and it's a big enough problem that you don't need to lie about it.
Yeah.
Like, if
that
to me,
I don't
like, if your
understand the
goal is
motivation
to
of that.
save people and to help people not get killed by fentanyl, this is not the way to do it. This is a way to get likes on your TikTok.
People.
Yeah, it's fucking gross, man. Like, ugh. I don't know. We're the weird ones, though. We're the weird
for
ones.
sure.
We're the ones. Yeah, we're the ones causing all the problems in the world. What do you think? Should we watch some more videos? I got a couple videos. I was planning on doing some production today, and then I got busy, and I fucking started cooking and lost track of time and didn't get a lot done. But I do have some videos from the I guess what nation address. I don't remember what they call these things. But anyways, Trump was talking. He was talking some shit. I think this was probably my favorite part.
Speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
What idiots. They look so stupid with their fucking signs, or golf signs, or tennis signs, whatever the fuck they're. I don't know who's
Great
idea
memes,
that
though.
was.
Great memes came out of that one.
Incredible fucking memes. Incredible memes. It's
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Like, it's really something when you can't get up and cheer for a kid with brain cancer because you don't like.
I mean, did you see the kid?
Yeah, DEI hire.
I couldn't cheer for him.
No, DEI hire. But like,
Yeah, no, it's well, we talked about this last week. They ran out and they screamed racism because Al Green got kicked out, and it's the same points. Like it's almost this shit happened yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. 22 people, including Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer, everybody, all posted the exact same script like 2 or 3 days ago.
yeah,
They played the same intro from Donald Trump, and that's a lie. They did the Ian Carroll hand,
Yeah.
and 22 fucking people the exact same script, and it's like, do you people ever plan on winning? I don't want a one-sided, one-party government. You know, that's not interesting to me. I think things are better because Trump got elected, but like I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, just fucking run Republicans forever. But that's what they're gonna do. They get on TV, they scream racism. The fucking Jeffries was on CNN a day or two ago saying that Trump was doing nothing about the border. Record low border crossings, lowest recorded in a month ever since they started recording. And it's like, you fucking people are so goddamn stupid. Like, how are you ever going to win if you're going to do this?
yeah. Stephen A. Smith did a great fucking video in like the last few days where he was kind of just saying that same thing. Like, hey, you can't get away with this shit anymore. Like, it's not going to fly. People are past that. Like, you can't just act like we don't see what's going on. It's like, you know, in the Emperor's New Clothes, it's like everybody, oh yeah, he's got no clothes, but then you just go home and back to clothes again. And like, we're not living in that world anymore. And I've got this is an old video, but I think it's good to play it because fuck Dan Crenshaw, first of all. And like, second of all, like, it's just an encapsulation of all of this shit that we're talking about.
He's trying to grab my thing. Look, you're too slow. He's too slow, Navy SEAL. It's funny, Dan, how you said you're tall. I'm small, but I'm so much taller than you, Dan. I'm so much bigger than you. You're just a little sad little boy. I'm the little one. This is, imagine me calling you out because you're a globalist. Oh, I got a job. I work for the Blaze. I make a lot of money. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, Dan.
Bragging
I make
about
a lot
his
of money.
government job.
Yeah, I'm a loser.
Like me.
This is the guy who tells veterans that their service.
Yeah, because there's a weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. I'm anti-war.
Yeah. Served for was a
Yeah,
waste
I'm
and a
anti-war
lie.
because
He's
I don't
putting
believe.
this-
Did you
this on
guys
his little
find any
channel
weapons of
right
mass
now.
destruction?
Can you imagine As a that? matter of fact, we did.
Oh,
What
where
the
was?
fuck
Oh, what
is
weapons
this
of
guy
mass destruction?
talking
Let's go.
You're actually going to go down this route, Alex.
Yeah, because we don't have any
You're
weapons of
gonna
mass
go down this
destruction.
route like a fool right now.
I'm
You're
the
telling
fool. You're the one
veterans,
that's getting
not
more
just
money to
me,
Ukraine.
but plenty
We
of
have
veterans.
homelessness. We have
You're
so
telling
many
plenty
issues
of
here in
veterans
America.
that
Who
their
cares
service
more
was
about
wasted.
Ukraine?
You're
Yeah, it was.
disgusting.
You guys' service was wasted
You're
for
disgusting.
globalists and bankers.
You are the modern day version.
I'm the
of
modern day
people
version.
who
You
spit
worry
on
more about
Vietnam
Ukraine
veterans.
than our border.
You are
care
the
more
modern
about-
day
He
version.
cares more about Ukraine
spit
than
on
he does
veterans
about
in
America.
Vietnam.
So you're a globalist. Why don't you take care of America? You don't care. That's your problem, Dan. You don't care about America. You don't care about Texas.
You're
Look at
disgusting.
Do you think there's
You
an
used to
invasion?
be a comedian,
Is there an
didn't you?
invasion on our border
You used
right
to
now?
be a comedian,
Is there an
didn't you?
invasion
used
on
to
our
be a
border right
soldier.
now?
Maybe you should go back
I
to that,
still am
buddy.
a comedian. Is there an invasion
you're not
on
very
our
good
border?
at comedy
Will you
anymore.
admit that there's an invasion on our border?
There's an invasion on our
Yeah, but you won't do
And who
anything
do you
about it.
think
But
the
why
number
do you
one
give
guy
80
deals with
billion
that?
to Ukraine? Why do you give 80 billion to Ukraine?
I think you're getting the numbers wrong there, buddy.
Oh, what
Yeah,
are we at 100
we're at
billion
like
now?
200 billion.
What are we up to now, Dan? And they even say none of those weapons even go to the front lines. So why don't you start caring about America?
Actually, they do.
You don't care about America at all, Dan. You're a globalist. You're a traitor. You're a dwarf. There's Dan Crenshaw. Come on. Come on,
The
dude.
modern day version of the people.
Oh, I'm a piece of shit. You're the one that's a globalist. You're killing young children for no reason, sending them to war for nothing.
And here he is getting ran down by the cops.
Am I under arrest?
Harassment.
No, you're being stopped in the ID facility. Not right now, you're being stopped. I just need some identification.
What a fucking coward.
Hand it to her.
Yeah,
We
For
got
future
it.
reference, when you're
We got. Oh wait, let's listen to
wanting
this.
to interview
Why not?
members, you cannot physically stop them from going their
It's on
way.
camera. I'm not trying to
talk back. I didn't
It's on film.
I'm just letting you know from what we were getting from
Yeah, don't
members
walk
of the
and chew
public
gum at the same
was that you were
time.
harassing members that were trying to go back and forth to their votes. You are not allowed to do that, so I'm going to let you know the rules and the laws that you are being
Or the
told
we the
that you are breaking. And I'm going to let you know that that's what you cannot do.
Okay, am I allowed to leave?
You are allowed to leave.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. This is just trying to ask politicians some questions, and then they come and detain me. What a joke.
Yeah, man. So,
Alex
like,
is
Alex
great.
is the man. He's the fucking
Your,
man.
your volume went low again.
How's that?
Great.
Cool. I don't know. I'll fix that.
A couple of thoughts, maybe not specifically about this.
Yeah.
But talking about the old way of doing things and all that bullshit, they're saying the same things over and over again. The issues that are being debated on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, egg prices, shit like that, it doesn't matter at all. Like
No.
to the everyday person, yeah, the cost of eggs matters, but they're seeing these ridiculous numbers and Trump's pointing them out. And one massive tactical approach that Trump is taking, which I think is just brilliant, is he's giving people a shot at the American dream again. So you have everybody who makes over 150K a year, not everybody, most people who make over 150K a year vote Democrat.
Mhm.
Like that's just gone. And those people own assets like houses and stocks and shit like that. But by making crypto legal, by not putting capital gains tax on that, you're taking a guy with $100, $500, and giving, even if they only have 20 people that just become filthy rich doing it in this legal market, you don't charge taxes, and you're making this asset class available to people who can't afford. Like if you're buying Tesla or Apple or Google, that price, like it's price perfect in the market for the most part. There's no huge long-term upside unless you just leave your money sitting there, and you'll probably do better than if you leave it in a checking account. But there's going to be variance and all that. By making crypto accessible and legal and not putting taxes on it, you're going to make this class of people who felt like they had no hope or no shot at all. Like, I'll never be able to afford a house. A lot of people, a lot of, Gen Z types believe that.
Yeah.
But if they have this shot with crypto, if you just held Bitcoin for 10 years, you'd be doing great, and it's going to keep going. So if you put money in Bitcoin now, Ethereum, whatever, and there's no taxes on it, you're this base, which is complete, which should be the Democratic Party. Poor people should be the base of the Democratic Party. The workers, they're totally alienated, and the Democrats aren't even trying to get them. And Trump is just playing, what do they call it, 4D chess or whatever, and bringing those people in the Republican Party. I just don't see how the Democrats could win.
One of my favorite aspects of crypto, but basically Bitcoin, because I'm a Bitcoiner. I'm not really into any of the shit coins. Like I'm sure some of them have utility and some of them are going to be worth buying. I don't know which ones. I don't pretend that I'm going to. Like I'm going to stick with my Bitcoin, and that'll be good. One of the coolest things about it is it rewires people's brains. It takes you from being a consumer, just a normal consumer with just a spending habit like every other fucking American in this country, and it shows you that there is another way. Like, oh, I don't have to just sit these dollars in a bank account and watch them dwindle away. I can put them into a different account. It's still numbers on a screen, that's one of my favorite parts. Well, it's just numbers on a screen. Well, so is yours. They're all just numbers on a screen at this point.
But we know what the maximum number of Bitcoin is going to be.
Exactly. And not only that, it's not even going to be 21 million because there's millions that have been lost already. Like we'll be lucky to have 15 million, you know, by the time the last Bitcoin is in circulation, like maybe 15, maybe 10, who knows really? Like there could be a lot of it that's missing already, but like we need to give people some time to allow that rewiring to work. So like when I got hurt, I had massive brain damage, and they say like you're going to notice for a while that you're fucked up. Like you're not thinking clearly and things are wrong. It's because your brain is used to doing things a certain way, and now it can no longer perform in that capacity. So what it has to do is create a new pathway. And that's what we're doing with these people who are stuck in consumerism, you know, just spending every dollar they have on new clothes and new bullshit, the next phone, whatever it is. Like people just spend their money on ridiculous shit. And then they start buying Bitcoin and they see it go up and up and up. And they go, holy shit, if I stop doing this disgusting spending habit thing, I can have a whole lot more Bitcoin. And like I watched that happen with myself. Like when I was sitting here getting workers' comp, not working, not investing on anything, not even thinking about my future in any way, because like you said, I'm never going to have any money. I got lucky to get into this house, and like I'm never going to have any money anyways. So like what's really the point in looking into it? And then bang, here's this thing, and it's totally changed my life. I've been able to, you know, financially, I'm probably better off now than I ever would have been without getting hurt. And it's not because I got a lot of money, because I didn't. I just did smart things with the money. Whereas if I just kept doing line work and never got into the internet, never got into podcasts, never met you, I would just be continuing to spend like an idiot.
Yeah. Like the government.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's someone else's money, right? It's always easy to spend somebody else's money.
I was thinking about just generations, because you see like Vance, Gabbard, Patel, they're all Gen X, right? And they're finally coming into power.
I thought Vance was on our generation.
Gen X, yeah.
Oh, I'm not Gen X. I'm a millennial.
How old are you?
38, 39, 39.
Oh.
How old is Vance? I thought he was my age. It doesn't really matter, I guess. We were talking about generations earlier in the week, and like I never really understood my grandfather until I got older, and like he would always brag about the microwave, just always bragging about the microwave. It's like, dude, it's a fucking microwave. Like, who gives a shit? And then I realized that he grew up dirt poor. They ate potatoes, and they had to cook on a fucking stove outside a lot of the time. And yeah, a microwave is something. Like the boomers are probably going to be the people who end up going through more technological change than any other generation in the history of humanity. Like the boomers have seen a large swath of shit, from like not having electricity to having AI agents.
I guess I don't necessarily agree with these generations, because 1981 to 1996 millennial, I feel like anybody born before 1990 is a different breed than somebody born after 1996.
No, I agree.
But my point is, Gen X and early millennials are starting to come in power, and I started thinking about boomers in general, and they are the most destructive generation to Western civilization.
Yeah.
They normalized divorce. They sold our women into tax slavery to have a second nicer car and a boys trip once a year so they could cheat on their fucking wives.
Yeah.
Just like completely crumbled the thought or the pillars of the American family. While I'm not religious, just when I was a kid, it was really weird if a family didn't go to church.
Yeah.
While I'm not religious, I believe that there are 3 major religions in the world, and 2 of them are still fighting a holy war to try to defeat the other 2. And I was born a white Christian, and there is a holy war against us, even though we're not participating in it.
Yeah.
And like, how do you get back? Do you start going to church when you know it's all bullshit? Probably not. But how do you, these other religions like have it in, like in Sharia law, the belief is that they should spread Islam through the whole world. And if a foe becomes so formidable that it's not worth completely conquering them, you can charge them a tax to stay alive, but you're going to come back and conquer them.
Yeah.
That's how Sharia law works, religion of peace. And they're like, that section of people believe that. And in Judaism, like they have that into their foundation to spread that, which I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, except for the fact that the pillars of Western civilization were built on white Christians, and the boomers completely destroyed the fundamental good things about it.
Yeah. When I was a kid, like I didn't grow
Mr.
up
Sunshine
religious.
over here.
I didn't grow up religious.
You think
so-
I was the one who had the hemorrhoid?
I know, right? Yeah, like so I didn't grow up religious. So one of the things I noticed as a kid was that the religious people that I did know were happier than the non-religious people that I knew. And I just always thought that was an interesting thing. And now that I'm an adult, like I think that still holds true for the Mormons, but not for the Christians and the Jews, man. Like like you said, they're at fucking war with each other. My grandfather's a Catholic, and like he's basically, given away a decent percentage of his money to the church every year for 50, 60 years. And he won't do it anymore. He's like, I'm not giving these monsters my money. There's no good NGOs that I can give the money to. Like at this point, I'm not giving them money anymore. They don't deserve it.
The Catholic Church has a surprising number of assets. Like they've invested money. They definitely don't need your money.
Mm-mm.
I was doing a deal 10 years ago. I don't know if this holds true, but the Catholic Church owned a substantial part of the telecom infrastructure in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Like they had diversified and went into everything that could make money.
So wait,
I have no idea.
Why do you think they did that?
Because they had money and they wanted to see it grow, so they made good investments.
Nothing like insidious, like we're gonna fucking listen to every phone call we can, or I don't know. I'm just wondering. It seems like a strange thing to invest all your money into.
Yeah, that was just an example of the diversity of their holdings. But they had like this amazing. I was talking to somebody that was high up at the Catholic Church, and that was just one of the examples. He gave me 10 examples.
I bet
that was
you
the
they
one
have.
that stuck.
I bet you they have some crazy antiques in the fucking vault. That is, like you can't even. They have so much priceless shit that you couldn't even put a value on like what they actually own for assets, because a lot of that shit is literally priceless.
Well, that's the thing about things like that is they'll never sell it, so it actually has no value. Like if you're
that's a good point. That's a good point. You
it's
can say
not
that
like
about
gold
Bitcoin,
where
right?
it's like, okay, if we have to liquidate, we have gold. Maybe the gold market will go down 5% if we liquidate all this gold.
Yeah.
If you have like these relics that you're never gonna sell, like it's just it's a liability sitting underground.
You might be able to trade.
I hear that this fucking communist pope is really close to dying anyway. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
fingers crossed. I wonder what the next pope is, because they have to go harder, right? Like they have to find somebody that hates Trump even more than this fucking guy. I wonder where they go to. Maybe they can find a Ukrainian pope. That'd probably be good.
Oh no, they already banned church in the Ukraine.
Oh, that's right. Bastion of democracy and civil rights and blah blah blah. We love Ukraine.
I guess we can hop into that for a minute.
Sure.
It's interesting. Obviously, Friday, Zelensky came to the White House. It looked like it was staged to blow up the deal, because as soon as he left, in the same manner and style that the 22 U.S. politicians all said the same shit, all of the leaders of the European Union put out the same tweet, standing with Ukraine and Poland.
Yeah.
At least they had a little variance in their copy, but it was all pretty much the same point. And then Trump cut off funding on Tuesday. Zelensky said, "I'm ready to do the minerals on today."
Yeah.
And then I saw like minutes before I came in here, Zelensky said he's not making a deal with Russia. And David Sachs pointed this out. I never thought of it this way. So Zelensky canceled the elections because he can't win.
Yeah.
Not because of the war, just because he can't win. If there's settlement and peace with Russia, he is going to get booted.
Yeah. The Nazis want his head.
He had so not just the Nazis on his, not just the Ukrainian nationalists that'd be mad that he gave up to Russia, just like he would not be the president of the Ukraine, and the U.S. is starting to audit and be like, oh, we said we gave you 180, you said that you received 72 or whatever the number was. Let's figure out where that is, because their weapons are starting to show up in Mexico.
Yeah, which is just fucking crazy. I couldn't believe when Tucker said that. I was like, holy shit. Like, that makes sense.
So he did. Elon actually tweeted yesterday, we just need to give this guy an off-ramp. Let him go. Let him take the money that he stole. Let him have, self-ownership or whatever in some country that nobody cares about, and just let it go and move on past this. Because what's going to happen is he's going to get Gaddafi'd probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that he was a stand-up comedian and probably doesn't know how to read, but have you looked at any of the leaders that we funded their weapons?
No.
Hussein, Gaddafi, the president of Syria, like they all just had fucking bin Laden. We fund them, we give them weapons, they fight this proxy war for us, they become our enemy, and then we kill them. Like that's the likely, like somebody probably pointed that out to him a couple weeks ago, like, oh shit, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I gotta start a nuclear war so I can stay alive.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, his only fucking job from that meeting was to go in there and kiss the ring. All you got to do is kiss the ring.
He had no intention of doing that.
And
I believe that he had
crazy.
no intention.
No, he clearly didn't. Like, and the fact that, like, I'm not a suit guy. I don't own a suit. I didn't even wear a suit when I got married. Like, I think they're fucking stupid. That being said, you wear a fucking suit to that, dude. You're there to kiss the ring. You're there to thank the American people for all of the fucking weapons that we've provided you. And shut the fuck up. That's also, shut up, say thank you, and wear a fucking suit, kiss the goddamn ring, and go back to your shithole country and hope that we give you a decent deal.
There are very few instances where I will wear a tie. Just, I don't like them. They're restrictive. I hate them. I'd wear a tie to the White House.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's stupid. It's like a mask in a lot of ways. It's just a humiliation ritual. Wear the stupid thing that like somebody could kill you with. I always heard Joe Rogan talk about ties. He's like, why would you ever wear a tie? I'm just gonna kill you. If I have to get in a fight, I'm just gonna grab that tie and you're fucking done for. And like I had to wear a tie at one of the bars that I worked at. God, it was fucking annoying. I don't know how to tie a tie, so I would just leave it tied and like hang it over a bottle when I wasn't working.
Yep.
And it's just fucking stupid. Like my boss was such an idiot, and I hope he hears this. Like at one point he decided, like he went to Maui and people were wearing white shirts at Duke's or something like that. And he decided, you're going to wear white shirts. We're going to have drinks with blue curacao and fucking red, green pucker in it and white shirts. And God, it was so fucking annoying. And I never got him to back down on that one. It was just a fucking nightmare. Anyways. How's the agent training going?
All right, so agents, I believe so right now, if people are using them, it's not simple. There's a lot of like little bug things that are hard to figure out, especially if you're not super technical.
Yeah.
I've been spending a lot of time doing that.
Learn to code, Dan.
No.
Learn to code.
You're going to get banned on Twitter for saying that. So they're not easy, but they're workable. Because like the last time I wrote a line of code was in GeoCities. Like I'm not a super technical person, but I'm getting shit to work. Like I have a chat bot where you can ask it about me, and it'll book a calendar phone call with me and shit like that. But so you have an advantage in business if you're using them now, significant advantage, really, especially if you're understanding them and the way the technology will advance. You'll be really far ahead of your competitors. But in 5 years, if you're not using them, it'd be like the equivalent of using a typewriter and mail to send correspondence when you can send text message now. So anybody who's like even just look at it. If you do anything that involves email or texting or any repetitive work, there's a ton of resources on YouTube. N8N is the main platform right now. So you can look up these N8N videos, and it's pretty wild what they're able to do with them. I'm just like, I've known, like, obviously you and I connected because I used ChatGPT to write a book about ChatGPT when it first came out. Not that good of a book, but I did it. And I saw potential in these large language models, but I never knew how they were going to put the pieces together. And agents is how they're putting the pieces together to make them useful and accessible to anybody.
It'd be a totally different book if you wrote it today. Like just a completely different book. I know that just because I've seen your progression on the subject. I know that like it would be just a completely different fucking book. So like
I didn't even write it.
You prompted it.
I prompted the LLM and I barely read it. I just made sure it wasn't repeating itself.
Yeah. No, it was a fucking smart grift. I like it. Like that was when I first had it, I was like, probably not a great book, but a super cool grift. So I'm in.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. The thing that I will come back to on things like this is they have to make it easy. People aren't gonna put the work in that you are on something like this unless there's a
they're becoming much, like, we're talking in a matter of days. New features are coming out that are making it easier, and it'll be just like so anybody can do it in probably 6 months.
Yeah.
But if you take the time and you invest in yourself now, you're going to be that much further ahead of the people that anybody can do it shit. And it's surprising how few people even just use AI. Like first off, Apple AI sucks.
Yeah.
That's something interesting I was thinking about. So I bought the new iPhone because Apple AI installed, and it's terrible. Apple's so precious with their data that I don't see them opening up their iMessage, email, shit like that to agents. So I could see Apple going the way of Yahoo in 10 years, maybe 5.
Damn.
They just announced that they're
makes
putting
sense.
$500 billion into data centers in the US, blah, blah, blah. Don't care.
Yeah.
They said one of their like project managers on Siri said that the Siri functionality where it's like you're talking to ChatGPT is 2 years out. And I'm seeing these updates in AI that are like daily. Shit's changing daily. And they're trying to solve for what we were able to do a year ago. And it's not going to be available in 2 years. They're just going to be so far behind. And somebody like my glasses, I have the Meta glasses. Yeah. I'm able to talk to the Meta LLM in them and have like ask questions, whatever. I can't do that with my fucking phone. And as the further I get into agents, like I'm automating all sorts of shit. If I can't do that with my phone, I'm going to buy an Android and be able to use the technology that's available to me today. And I've had an iPhone since they came out.
They're going to rely on all their own products. Like if you want an agent, it's going to be an Apple agent, you know, and that Apple agent's going to have some weird shit baked into it that you can't fucking get rid of. You know, it'll be woke.
No, they aren't even trying to build agents. They're trying to do the technology that's available right now, but it's not going to be available for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
Just to talk to
my point is when they do get into these agent things is, anyways, I don't know. You know, I was thinking one of the things I've been thinking about recently was 3D printers. I remember 20 years ago when they started talking about 3D printers. Oh, everybody's going to have a 3D printer. You'll be able to print clothes with it and your coffee cups. And turns out a lot of that shit is fucking useless. And the clothes aren't comfortable. And like, it just didn't work out the way they thought it was going to work out. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen with these agents, but I do think that within AI, we'll call it, there's going to be a lot of 3D printers that come along with it. Just things that maybe are cool for certain certain projects or certain uses, but for the most part, not really usable to the general public.
Yeah, it's amazing seeing these startups that are getting funded. Say they raise $5-10 million and they build a cool product, but in the time that it takes them to build that product, it just becomes something that you can do with anything else. Like my buddy sent me this. I'm not going to say the product or say the name of the company, but basically you can use it to make videos and ads for you.
Yeah.
It pulls your camera roll together and it makes a script. Well, you can use TikTok owns it, but it's this product called CapCut, and you can use ChatGPT, the free one, and you can get your script, and CapCut can do it, and they can voice over. These motherfuckers are charging $400 a month, and CapCut's like $20 a month. ChatGPT is $20 a month, and like they're just launching.
CapCut's free. I use it for free anyways. Like I'm sure there is stuff on it that you need to pay, but for the most part, like everything I do on it, I do for free.
My wife pays for it, but she does all of our social media content. It looks dope. So.
Yeah. One of my favorite like aspects of science fiction is kind of like what you were talking about. So you get, you have this massive project where we're going to go and colonize the first star. We've never been outside of the solar system, but we're going to make this big generation ship. We're going to spend trillions of dollars on this massive ship with all this high-tech technology, and then we take off, and 500 years later, you pull up to the star, and it's already completely fucking colonized by people who found FTL, And that could happen. Like, somebody could just discover FTL, and all of that shit could be fucking gone in an instant, right? Like, I don't know what that would look like, but it sure would be cool.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. All right, Dan. Let's call it. My fucking ass hurts, and I need to go have some dinner. We'll do this again.
Everybody
next week.
watch Shoresy if you haven't. That's the best piece of art that ever came out of Canada. Shoresy.
All right.
It's about hockey players. It's okay to be white and have hot bitches.
Nice.
Yes.